Hi, I'm Stephanie Wilson-Coleman, the Empowerment Doctor, and today I want to talk a little bit about the fear of failure. Fear of failure is our greatest threat to our success. So, fear of failure has killed more dreams than all the fears combined. So, it's interesting though, when we watch children or sometimes other people, they seem to have no concept of failure. And this allows them to just play or go forward with everything that they want to accomplish. And then they're actually kind of happy. Even when something goes wrong, they just dust themselves off and they just seem to just move through this. So some of the things we can consider is that failure is temporary. That is, unless you quit. Failure is final unless you give up. All successful people have experienced a lot of failure. If you go back and read some of their biographies, you will find out that things happened to them that they were able to overcome that we didn't even know was possible. Failure is common and natural. Okay? You failed 1,000 times and managed to survive. So just think about it. When we first learned to crawl, we weren't successful this first 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 100 times. It took us a while. And the same thing is when we even started to walk. We would get up and balance ourselves and we'd fall our little bottoms back down again before we even know it. And then we'd laugh and then we would start all over. And we see that in our children all the time. But think of some of the things that you actually did and accomplished, and think of the times that you failed. See, people fail all the time. It's just that our approach needs to be different. So sometimes failure teaches us how to make adjustments. It teaches us what to look forward to. And it also is educational because it teaches us what we didn't know that we didn't even know we didn't know. So the more you fail, the stronger you become. Other people are actually less concerned about your failure than you think. Some people might notice it, and when they do, they might say something, but then they quickly turn their attention back to themselves and their own challenges, because everybody is facing some challenges. Everybody's learning. Everybody's falling down. What's important is that we still get back up. So focus on how great it would be when you succeed. So instead of worrying about failure, I want you to think about the possibilities of success. I want you to think about what you learned when you think you failed. I want you to actually write it down. What did you learn? So what did you learn to do differently? And what are you going to do differently the next time? I want you to write that down. I want you to keep those high expectations of actually succeeding. I want you to think about still how it's going to feel when you succeed. Exactly what are people going to say? Imagine those kinds of things in your mind, and I want you to go forward. So when you put your attention on what you are doing and what you actually want to accomplish, when something negative happens, there's no real harm to that. Just forget about it and just keep focused on the positive things that are happening to you. I always say you have to have a couple of scenarios, 3 scenarios. One of it is, what will you do if things go exactly as you planned? What do you do if things don't go like you planned? And what will you do if you are wildly successful? Because your outcome could be any one of those 3 things. And usually your outcome is a combination of all 3 of those things. So consider the cost of doing nothing, because sometimes when we fail, we don't want to take any more action, because taking more action could be a little bit scary. I know it is for me. So what happens if you don't do anything? So what will you feel? And how will you feel about taking action? And if you're stuck in your current life, if you don't take any action, what is the next decade going to look like? Maybe taking a risk is far more attractive than remaining where you are. So I want you to encourage to take the risk. I want you to encourage yourself to actually to write down what you learn when you fail, because failure is not limited to just your life. Remember, we're all doing it, but we're all learning for it too. So I want you to reject the fear of failure because it is one of the greatest things that you can do for your future. I want you to start today and ask yourself, what am I going to do today that I've been afraid to try? What are you going to do today that you have been afraid to try? I'm Stephanie Wilson-Coleman, the Empowerment Doctor, and as I always say, life is too short to drink cheap champagne. I want you to have a great day, and I want you to continue to dream big and face everything that's there for you to learn so that you can be the best you that you can be.